All right, finally a look and feel of winter, or at least a little bit, as we go through today. There's a little dip in the jet stream trough coming across the northeast. There's rain, there's snow showers, and I'll tell you what, there's going to be some accumulating snow certainly across central and eastern parts of Massachusetts, west of 495 in the Boston area. Even in Boston this evening, I think we have rain and snow mix that can end as a little bit of snow. Then we have another storm as we head toward this weekend. I'm not optimistic that we're going to see a lot of snow with this, but there's going to be at least a little bit, some rain, snow mix across the Midwest, and then this heads toward Pennsylvania, New York State as we get into Sunday night into Monday. Wouldn't be surprised if there was a few snowflakes in New York, but all in all, if you're looking for snow, close your eyes. You're not going to see any. Not a whole lot as we go through this weekend, but you say there's a chance? There is. Late next week. Let me show you why. Because behind our system Sunday into Monday, you at least bring in one ingredient that you always need for snow. You got to get it cold. Now, this isn't Arctic air, but it is cold enough to snow. And do remember, along the East Coast, it's late January and February. That's the snowstorm season. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting closer and closer. And by the end of next week, I think we're going to start seeing some opportunities. Here comes the cold air. Notice, as I talked about, this is not Arctic air, but it is getting at least back to normal. This is the coldest time of the year. So at least we're starting to build the cold. Then we start talking about the storms. To show you this, you need a magnifying glass to see it. Not much snow. Even in Buffalo, remember, they got hammered in the city during Christmas week. Gone. Now, here's what's going to happen as we get into next week. Joe Lumberg and I were talking about this. Watch the cold air come down. Now, the real Arctic air stays up in eastern Quebec, but there's at least cold enough air for snow down into the Midwest and into the Northeast by the time we get into Friday. Now, we are going to be looking at a storm that comes into the California coast. Watch this as we head into Monday and Tuesday. Now, there's an old forecast rule. It's called the old Norm Macdonald rule. He was a brilliant broadcast meteorologist in the New England area during the 70s and early 80s. Actually, I believe in the 60s as well. But the rule is this: where a storm comes in along the West Coast, it exits at that same latitude along the East Coast. It works 9 out of 10 times. That tells me, so it's coming in around San Francisco. It probably exits somewhere along the North Carolina-Virginia border. And what? With enough cold air, you can get some snow. So that's why we're looking toward the end of the week. Watch this system come across, and I'm going to stop this on Thursday, and you can kind of see what's going on. Now, modeling says it's down in South Carolina. I bet you it's farther north. And also because you have this northwesterly wind, you start bringing in the cold air. So that's what sets up the equation for late next week. Here comes the colder air. And then, now listen, does the storm go farther south, or using the old Norm Macdonald rule, does it come a little farther north? And if it does, you start to have to worry about snow. Now listen, this signal for late in the week is not as strong as what we have at Christmas weekend, but I think this is an area you have to beware late next week, Thursday into Friday, for at least the chance of some snow. We'll see how it plays out. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, check out these other videos here and be sure to subscribe for new content and the latest weather news from AccuWeather.